2020 was my hardest year, a lonely year, a year to forget, a year of waiting, a year to be separated from the people you love. A world I once enjoyed doesn't longer exist. Everywhere I went by myself. Everything was empty, including my soul. 2020 took away my joy of flying and filming. And will I continue next year? I don't know. But one thing I know for sure is that this YouTube life isn't always the most glamorous. So guys, and here we are reviewing Ukraine International Airlines today from Prague all the way to Dubai with a short stopover in Kiev. Two airplanes I'll be covering today, the Embraer 190 from Prague to Kiev, and then we continue to Dubai on the 737-800. So let's see. I've traveled Ukraine International Airlines before. I was very pleased. So let's see how today's flight is going to perform. So with all the flying I do and all the airports I get to see, it's interesting how certain airports deal with their security. For example, here in Prague, all security checks are done at the gate, as well as in Singapore. But when you go to other major airports like Seoul, Amsterdam, you go for passport control and then you go for the security check, or the other way around, where you have a central spot and then people spread all around the airport and go to the gates. My question is, why is that? So guys, and while we speak of safety, let me tell you that today's video is once again sponsored by Surfshark VPN. And now let me give you a few reasons why you should get one as well. Ever since I started to travel, I use a VPN because I want my data and passwords to be protected, and that's one of the many things Surfshark does for me. Plus, you can use them on all your devices. But it also helps me to access all Netflix libraries all around the world. I can also watch the highlights of my favorite football team from anywhere in the world by simply changing my IP address. Another good perk, I also save money by finding cheaper flights through Surfshark VPN by changing my location. And the great thing is, you can do the same. So Surfshark has been a great sponsor of this channel. So if you want to get 27 months of VPN with an 83% of discount, so 24 months you pay for, and they give you 3 months for free, you have to use the link in the description box below. Get a VPN. It's very important that you secure whatever you do online. And now let's go and fly Ukraine International. So my plan was to check in and then make use of my priority pass and go to the MasterCard lounge or the Menzies lounge here, but both of them are closed. And Prague looks like any other airport at the world right now. Literally no passengers, very little flights. The two major airlines that are still flying from here is Ryanair, Emirates, and Qatar. So, and I think this scene, an empty airport, empty jet bridges, and only one Emirates 777 sums up 2020 pretty well. The major airlines are still flying. The local airlines, such as Czech Airlines here in this case, have the majority of their fleet grounded, financially struggling to survive. There's a private jet coming. Private aviation is on the rise. So in the end, the ones that have money still fly. The ones that don't stay on the ground.
bus will take you to the airport.
Also, considering that all the jet bridges are not in use, we still get a bus boarding, but it's simply because of the fact that the Embraer is simply too small to be parked at a jet bridge, which you will see when we board. So a real quick intro, because they changed my seat to like 60. I had a purchase seat. Anyways, 2-2 configuration, 6 in business class, 8, 96 in a 2-2 configuration in economy class makes 104 seats in total. They did a temperature check right at the door, first time in times of COVID that they done that on the aircraft. But yeah. The thing I didn't like, to change my seat. I paid for that. Now I have an aisle seat, not even a window seat. So I hope that this one here is gonna stay vacant. But this is the legroom situation. It's all right. There's obviously no personal entertainment. You have a foldable table and safety card. So disregard whatever I was saying regarding them changing my seat, which I purchased for, because for balance reasons they put me in front, and then there is no occupied seats, like I think 4 rows are not occupied, simply for balancing out the airplane, because the load is very light on this flight. But yeah, can't complain. Now we are heading for the runway. The lights off as well. All good so far. And this is hilarious. We're now holding short for the runway. I've been staying at the airport hotel for 3 days. Literally every single takeoff was a rolling takeoff. And now it's my turn. Of course, we have traffic ahead of us. So I'm rocketing out of Prague. Flight time to Kiev, approximately 2 hours. So in times from COVID, we're always asking ourselves, what is the food and beverage situation like on certain airlines? And as I said, the ones that need to have a beverage or a food service on board to survive, they continue doing it. The ones that can save a few euros, like the legacy carriers, they just cut it to save some money. It's all okay in times of COVID. As long as it helps them to survive, I'm fine with it. But here on Ukraine International, first of all, they hand out a bottle of water, which is free of charge, and then they have a paid beverage service. You won't get a menu because of COVID. They make an announcement, a PA, and they say what they have. So I went for the chicken rice, but they're just gonna heat. I got a coffee, and she was very sweet. She said they don't give out extra creamer, but she did. She said as an exception today we got some wipes. Yeah, like the crew is really, really lovely. They take all kind of currencies, euro, dollars, hryvnia, whatever. which is also much appreciated. Plus card, you can pay with a credit card. So yeah, like the crew is exceptional, nice. They really are not annoyed. They're really trying to enhance my flight experience here, which I really much appreciate. On my second flight to Dubai, I have a pre-ordered meal, and I think that was €6. So we're going to see on the second flight what the meal is going to be like. And now let's get ready for chicken rice. So on this flight they don't sell instant coffee, but like freshly brewed Arabic coffee, very strong, the way my grandmother used to drink it. And probably not many of you know, but my grandmother which was a huge inspiration to me, was actually born in the Ukraine. So, and then after the war moved to the Czech Republic, and that's where she grew up. I want to dedicate this sip of coffee on Ukraine International to her. So cheers, Grandma. Very strong. So I also want to point out that like the majority here are Ukrainian passengers, and they're all nicely wearing their mask that cover their mouth and their nose, so very well behaved. And also the guy opposite me on the other row, super lovely, approached me with just 2 words of English and asked what I was doing, and asked if I was a YouTuber, and he asked, oh, thank you. No, that's okay. Thank you. I will. So yeah, my meal just arrived. Yeah, and I'll just say the guy on the outside, I gave him my card. He was very curious. Really lovely people on this flight. I feel really good here on board Ukraine International. Chicken korma with basmati rice. Always a huge fan of chicken and rice, or chicken rice. One of my favorite dishes. And here we go. So first impression, it looks very bland and very dry, but sometimes it rather matters what it tastes like instead of what it looks like. But yeah, let's open it, let's see. Alright, and now's the moment where I'm allowed to take off my mask. A fork. I know we had that discussion before, and some of you guys say you should never eat rice with a fork but with a spoon. But I eat my rice with a fork kind of person. This is actually excellent catering. I was expecting it to be like very curry flavorish, but it's very light, but also very creamy in taste. And when I opened it, it looked very dry, the meal. But honestly, now since I started, like it's all like covered in sauce, it's actually an excellent dish. And also look at the portion, much bigger than on most airlines. I mean, of course I paid for it, but that is good. I can highly recommend the food here on Ukraine International. It's really been a while since I had such a good meal. And then once again, like according to Scamtrax, Skytrax, or whatever you want to call it, this is technically the worst airline in Europe. I've traveled them before from Prague to Kiev and then to Bangkok on their 767. Like they have old 767 from Delta, and it was also a lovely flight, great crew, lovely food, much better than most airlines I've tried in Europe. You probably haven't purchased the Scamtrax branding package. That must be it. So this was an excellent lunch experience, really enjoyed it, and 2020 has been quite a tough year for Ukraine International, not only because of COVID, but earlier this year a 737-800 of Ukraine International was shot down over Iran. But let me tell you the full story.
out exactly what happened in the moments before the plane was shot down by Iran.
We have intelligence from multiple sources, including our allies and our own intelligence. The evidence indicates that the plane was shot down by an Iranian surface-to-air missile.
On January 8, 2020, Ukraine International Airlines Flight 752 was shot down shortly after departing Tehran International Airport. 176 occupants died, including 9 crew members. May their souls rest in peace.
A growing memorial to those who died in Wednesday's crash.
So, welcome to the review. Here at the back, I'm at the rear lavatory of the Embraer 190, and it's quite spacious. I mean, like, if you're a tall person, not so much, but they have all the amenities. Ashtray, if you need it, and it's sparkling clean. I like it. It's pretty good. My hair is a bit out of control, but yeah. Once again, I have to stress how lovely the crew is. They're very nice, very kind, very young as well. And that was my experience on my previous flight a couple of years ago. Yeah, that's it. How do you like to loo? It's good, right? Thank you. So here we are in Kiev. Just went through the security check for the transfer to the gates. It says gate D2, 737 to Dubai. And I was also the only transfer passenger. So the airport looks pretty deserted. Let's see, where is my gate? Delhi. Still flying to Delhi, Minsk. So, and also if you have any doubts about like transiting in Kiev because you think, oh, it might be an old terrible airport or whatever, it's actually very modern. It has a few very nice restaurants. It has free Wi-Fi. It's really beautiful. It's a world-class airport, just as good as anything you know from the west or east or south or north, so nobody feels offended. So I had a fantastic first flight from Prague to Kiev with a young, ambitious, hardworking, very friendly crew. Very much like that. Seat was great. I was lucky that I didn't have a seat neighbor. Food was delicious, outstanding. Though it was came with a charge, but it was amazing. Airplane was clean. They seem to have a very clear COVID concept. Yeah. I hope it's going to continue like this. All right, boarding on time. They ask for the COVID test once again at the counter. And now I'm going to board the 737 to Dubai. Seems like a quite busy flight. Also, flight time is around 5 hours. Get to Dubai at 2 a.m. in the morning. And yeah, gonna be a busy night. Hi there.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So here we are, welcome on board the D737, 186 seats, 3-3 configuration, very standard for a 737. That is the legroom situation here, not too bad. I like the padding of the seat. very comfortable. It's not like one of the thin ones, you know, from Ryanair. It still has a bit of like padding and cushion inside. Crew, once again, very lovely welcome, very warm welcome at the door. Once again, they were taking temperature. Foldable table. So this is the recline situation right here. Quite generous. And yeah. So now there is a 767 of Azur Air, which is the most dense configured 767 in the world. Only economy, I think 242 configuration, whatever. I was told by my friends of Simply Aviation, David. So overall, the whole journey has cost me $200 from Prague to Dubai with checked luggage and I could pick some seats as well. I think it's a pretty good deal. So from my experience, I always prefer to have my bag under the seat in front of me. First of all, because all my belongings are in there, a lot of valuables. And whenever I need something, it's easy to reach. Since I prefer a window seat and you might have people sitting next to you so you can't reach it. And I once had a flight from Beijing to Prague on Hainan Airlines where overnight people were stealing, or there was one guy who was stealing money and valuables of people's luggage, which was stored in the overhead compartments. So my tip as a frequent flyer, especially in economy class, and if it's a long overnight flight, for example, always leave your bag with you under the seat. That is always the best option.
На вимогу екіпажу від
We departed Kiev on time, and shortly after takeoff, I received my pre-ordered meal, a chocolate croissant and the driest and probably worst oatmeal I've ever had in my life. It was simply not edible. I spent the majority of my flight sleeping, and when I woke up, we already descended into Dubai.
Thank you very much. Well done.
So welcome to Dubai. This flight was a bit more painful than the first one, but now let's see what the arrival experience is like here in Dubai. So on arrival, there is another COVID test. You have to drop the paper or the certificate you received from your test prior coming to Dubai, and now I'm gonna head for immigration. That's the procedure as of now, and you have to download the Corona app as well. So got my bag, got my entry stamp, and it is 3 a.m. in the morning. Now I'm gonna head to the hotel, get a bit of sleep, and then I have a lunch meeting with the CEO of Cam Air, the Afghan airline, and then I'll be off to Abu Dhabi. So far, it works pretty well. I was expecting a few more hiccups, but it's smooth sailing as of now. So once I'm at the hotel, I'm gonna sum up today's flight on Ukraine International. But yeah, so you get a bit of a taste what it looks like, what my day looks like when I create videos for you, create reviews. They're quite busy, they're quite hectic. All right, now let's find the exit. The pink one? Yes. All right. Hey, can I pay by card? Yeah. Okay, awesome. All right, thank you. Thank you. This way? All right. Oh, this is a nice bathtub, isn't it? So I just arrived at the hotel. It's been a long day and a long flight, but It was a good flight. The first flight exceeded my expectations, but I have to come into the hall because that's where the light is. So the first flight absolutely exceeded my expectations. It was wonderful, it was great. And the second flight was probably just what I thought it was going to be. It was a full flight, but still lovely crew. Yeah, I said the oatmeal wasn't really nice, the food-wise, but still the crew was lovely. And for that price, can't really complain. Would I recommend Ukraine International? Definitely. So yeah, but this is it. That was a bit of a different vlog today, so you see what my day is like, and it gets busy. Life gets very busy to bring you the best content. So please reward me, hit the like button, and let me know in the comment section below what you think of Ukraine International. I've asked you so many questions in this vlog, so like comment. Guys, thank you so much. Check out my Patreon for some extra perks. Always helps me a lot. Other than that should be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for joining me on my way to Dubai, and I'm gonna get a few hours of sleep and then I'm off again. All right, guys, wherever you're off to, have a safe trip.